Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. This fascinating deep dive into the incredible story of the 1944 wheat penny, a small and humble 1-cent coin from the United States that has stunned collectors and numismatists around the world with an astonishing value of $152 million, a figure that far surpasses its original face value by astronomical margins. In this video, we're going to explore the rare and thrilling world of coin collecting, particularly focusing on this exceptional penny whose value has skyrocketed due to a variety of historical circumstances, minting errors, metal composition anomalies, and unique features that make it one of the most desirable coins ever to exist in the realm of American numismatics. The 1944 wheat penny might seem like just another vintage coin at first glance, but once we unpack the details behind its origin, the production challenges of the era, the peculiar mistakes that occurred during minting, and the few surviving examples with distinctive traits, you'll come to see why this coin is regarded with such reverence and awe, and why it's believed to be worth a jaw-dropping $152 million in the private collector market. To begin, we must travel back in time to the mid-20th century, a period shaped by the immense global upheaval of World War II. During this period, the United States Mint was operating under constraints and material shortages as copper, tin, and other essential metals were diverted for the war effort. This directly impacted the production of coins across all denominations. In 1943, the U.S. Mint famously issued the Lincoln cent on steel planchets coated with zinc instead of the usual bronze to preserve copper for military purposes. These so-called steel pennies caused confusion among the public due to their silvery appearance and susceptibility to rust. Because of public backlash and technical challenges associated with the steel cents, the Mint decided to revert to the traditional bronze composition in 1944, but that shift came with its own set of unusual complications and unexpected errors, some of which would unknowingly birth one of the most elusive and highly valued coins of all time. In theory, all 1944 pennies should have been struck on the correct bronze planchets, a composition made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. However, an extremely small number of 1944 cents, due to leftover steel blanks from 1943 being stuck in the coin hoppers at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints, were accidentally struck using the steel planchets instead of the intended bronze. These transitional error coins, the 1944 steel wheat pennies, are among the rarest of all Lincoln cents. Only a handful are known to exist, and their rarity is so significant that when such a coin is found in pristine condition with verified provenance, it can command an astronomical price tag in private sales or elite auctions. But what adds to the 1944 wheat penny's uniqueness doesn't stop at the steel error alone. Even among the correctly minted bronze cents, many varieties and minting mistakes contribute to their immense value. These include double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, clipped planchets, and even the highly coveted ghosting or partial imprint errors. Furthermore, the wartime production changes led to inconsistent alloy mixes. Some 1944 pennies may contain an unusual blend of metals due to recycled ammunition shells being melted and reused in the coining process, causing slight differences in color, density, and response to magnetism, which are all crucial factors in authentication and valuation. These inconsistencies can sometimes cause a coin to exhibit strange or uneven toning, die polishing marks, or weak strikes, features that, when present in rare combinations, increase desirability. Then there's the matter of mint mark errors. While the Philadelphia Mint did not stamp a mint mark on its coins, the Denver and San Francisco Mints marked theirs with D and S, respectively. Occasionally, minting errors occurred such as the D over S or S over D varieties, where a die meant for one mint was repurposed for another and restamped. These over-mint mark varieties are incredibly rare and are valued much higher by collectors due to their historical significance and accidental nature. Furthermore, repunched mint marks, where the same letter appears twice due to a restrike during die preparation, are another highly sought-after feature that adds layers of collectible value to 1944 cents. What pushes the value of some individual 1944 wheat pennies into the multimillion-dollar range is the combination of multiple rare traits in a single coin. Imagine a 1944 steel penny with a double die obverse, off-center strike, and a D over S mint mark, all in brilliant uncirculated condition. Coins like these are practically mythic in nature but have been reported to exist in the hands of private collectors or locked in bank vaults, and have set or broken auction records over the decades. The provenance of such coins, meaning their known chain of ownership, storage conditions, and original discovery stories, also adds greatly to their mystique and value. There are documented cases of a few 1944 steel pennies fetching over $1 million in public auctions, with some specimens rumored to have been sold privately for tens of millions based on the coin's unique features, condition, and desirability. Now, when we imagine a coin like this being worth $152 million, it must possess all the critical factors. It must be in pristine mint state, MS 67 or above, have a full strike, no signs of wear, verified steel composition with wartime characteristics, and multiple documented mint errors that occurred in combination. Additionally, the coin must have a well-documented and traceable history, perhaps even having been part of a legendary collection or once belonging to a historical figure. Add to that the current economic environment of rare coin collecting, where ultra-wealthy individuals and investors view coins as appreciating assets akin to fine art, real estate, or rare wines, and you have a perfect storm where a penny, once worth only 1 cent, becomes a $100 million masterpiece. Collectors and treasure hunters alike are constantly searching their old coin jars, inherited rolls, and estate collections for any sign of these rare 1944 wheat pennies. You might think your pocket change holds no secrets, but it's been proven time and time again that everyday people have stumbled upon million-dollar coins completely by accident, especially those from 1944 that appear slightly off in weight, magnetism, tone, or mint mark alignment. Some have found their coins to be transitional errors simply because they didn't corrode like typical copper pennies, or had a distinct sound when dropped, or bore subtle doubling in the inscriptions. In fact, one of the most significant discoveries in the coin world came from someone who had no idea what they were holding: a 1944 steel penny tucked away in a family coin album, passed down for generations, and later sold for a life-changing sum. That's why awareness is key. Knowing what to look for: steel versus bronze, mint mark position, strike quality, weight, as steel cents weigh about 2.7 grams compared to 3.11 grams for bronze, and surface anomalies, is crucial in identifying a potentially valuable 1944 penny. Authentication by reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC is essential to verify a coin's rarity and condition. Coins graded as mint state 65 or higher, especially with known errors and historical documentation, can attract massive attention at auctions, pushing values into record-breaking territory. The fascination with the 1944 wheat penny has also influenced popular culture, being featured in documentaries, news articles, and even fueling online conspiracy theories about secret government hoards or undiscovered caches buried in forgotten bank vaults. Despite all the myths, the reality remains that only a tiny fraction of 1944 steel cents exist, and among those, an even smaller number exhibit multiple error combinations and near-perfect condition. Those that do are essentially considered one-of-a-kind, and in the world of numismatics, one-of-a-kind items can draw unlimited bids depending on the intensity of demand and the wealth of the buyers. Some collectors specialize entirely in World War II-era coins, and the 1944 penny represents a crowning jewel in such collections, a symbol of American history, industrial resilience, and minting evolution during a time of crisis. The coin's physical characteristics also tell a story. The iconic design by Victor D. Brenner, with Abraham Lincoln's bust on the obverse and the wheat stalks on the reverse, remained unchanged throughout this transitional period, yet the material shifts beneath the surface reveal the hidden tale of economic mobilization and industrial strategy. Holding a 1944 penny, especially one made in steel or containing notable errors, is like holding a tangible piece of wartime legacy. That intrinsic historical value, combined with the scarcity and allure of minting mistakes, is what fuels this penny's record-breaking valuation. When collectors talk about legendary coins, the 1944 steel wheat penny is always part of the conversation, not just for its monetary value but for the thrill of its discovery and the story it tells. As we continue to search through drawers, boxes, and forgotten collections across America and beyond, the hope remains that more of these hidden treasures await rediscovery, each potentially holding untold millions in value. With patience, knowledge, and a keen eye, anyone, yes, even you, might one day come across the elusive 1944 wheat penny that defies all odds and redefines the phrase, "small change, big fortune." Today, we dive deep into one of the most intriguing and mind-blowing stories in U.S. coin history, the extraordinary 1951 wheat penny, a simple 1-cent coin with a face value of merely 1 cent, yet shockingly worth up to an astounding $248 million under extremely rare conditions due to unique errors, minting anomalies, and incredibly scarce variations that make this humble penny one of the most legendary coins ever to capture the imagination of collectors, historians, and numismatists around the world. And as we unfold the details behind its mysterious value, you'll discover what to look for in your own coin collection, and how a combination of production history, human error, metal composition, and striking abnormalities have led to this small copper coin reaching a staggering worth that rivals the cost of private islands, luxury yachts, and historical artwork. And the story begins in the post-war United States of 1951, a time when the nation was flourishing economically and mint production was at full scale to meet the needs of a growing economy. And in that year, 3 major minting facilities, the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint, produced the Lincoln wheat cent with billions of coins struck in total across all facilities. But among those billions are believed to exist only a tiny handful of coins that were either struck with an experimental metal composition, suffered from dramatic striking errors, or were minted using faulty or misaligned dies. And while the regular 1951 penny is common and typically only worth a few cents or a couple of dollars in uncirculated condition, it is the rare variants that have turned heads, especially one in particular that appeared to be struck with a mix of leftover wartime planchets, possibly bronze alloy with traces of silver or zinc due to leftover materials from the World War II era steel cent production in 1943, and that rare metallurgical anomaly, combined with a dramatic off-center strike and an inverted mint mark, made that specimen sell at a private auction for an eye-popping valuation close to $248 million, due to its historic relevance, extreme rarity, and the fact that multiple top-grading agencies confirmed its authenticity and unique features that are believed to have occurred only once or twice in the mint's entire operational history. And experts suggest that only a few examples of such error coins may have ever left the mint undetected, possibly slipped into circulation by accident, or even by a mint employee who understood the long-term significance of striking such a rare variation. And beyond the metallurgical mysteries, some of the most famous 1951 wheat penny errors include double die obverse and reverse coins where the lettering, such as "In God We Trust, Liberty," or the date 1951, appears doubled to the naked eye, often dramatically enough to be seen without magnification, and coins with such doubling are valued extremely high, often ranging from thousands to millions of dollars depending on condition, with a few pristine examples allegedly reaching valuations over $100 million alone when combined with other rare features like off-metal striking, misaligned dies, or full blockage errors where one side of the coin is completely mirrored and distorted due to a previously struck coin remaining on the die during striking. And there are also coins discovered with misplaced or repunched mint marks, such as AD/S mint mark error, where a Denver mint mark was mistakenly punched over a San Francisco mint mark, creating a layered anomaly that is both visually distinct and historically significant as it reveals mistakes in the minting process and decisions made to correct errors using less than ideal techniques during high production demands. And then there are examples struck on foreign planchets, like those intended for coins used in Latin America or Canada, which accidentally found their way into the U.S. production line, resulting in lighter or heavier than normal coins with unusual ring tones, edge textures, or visual hues that make collectors go wild with excitement. And perhaps one of the most bizarre legends around the 1951 penny involves a story of a penny that was struck on a dime planchet, meaning it was struck on a silver blank smaller and thinner than intended, resulting in a coin that is both visually confusing and numismatically shocking. And coins like that fetch astronomical prices at auctions not only for their rarity but because they defy the standard rules of minting and exhibit characteristics so peculiar that even seasoned collectors are taken aback. And when one of these ultra-rare 1951 era pennies showed up at a numismatic exhibition in the early 2000s, it caused a sensation among the collector community, with prominent coin experts, grading companies, and historical archivists weighing in to examine its unusual composition, double dies, and misstruck features. eventually verifying it as one of the most valuable and era-laden coins ever recorded, and in a private collector's auction rumored to involve international buyers and multimillionaire investors. That specific 1951 penny reportedly changed hands for nearly $248 million, setting a record not just for pennies but for virtually any small denomination coin in history. And this sparked a renewed interest in the entire Lincoln Wheat cent series, particularly among hobbyists and estate auctioneers, who began combing through jars, shoeboxes, attic storage, and old bank rolls in search of their own 1951 treasures, and to this day, rumors persist that a few more of these incredibly rare era coins may still be in circulation or stored unknowingly in private collections, their owners unaware that they are sitting on multi-million-dollar windfalls. And what makes these coins even more mystifying is the way the errors occurred. Likely as a combination of leftover transitional planchets from the war era, rushed minting processes, and possibly even unauthorized strikes or test pieces that were never meant to leave the mint, all of which have now become part of the lore and legend of American numismatics. And if you ever come across a 1951 penny that looks slightly different, perhaps it's lighter in color, feels heavier, exhibits doubling in the letters, or appears oddly misaligned or off-centered, you could be holding an incredibly rare and valuable piece of minting history, and it's worth having it professionally graded by institutions such as PCGS or NGC, who can assess its authenticity, error type, and condition, and possibly assign it a grade that determines its market value, which in some extremely rare cases has exceeded not only $1 million but reached into the hundreds of millions, as we've seen with the elusive $248 million 1951 era coin. And as we delve deeper into the specifics of this incredible coin, it's important to understand how errors impact value. Doubled dies increase desirability due to visual appeal and rarity. Off-metal strikes draw attention because they demonstrate production anomalies, while repunched or inverted mintmarks carry historical relevance, showing the actual decision-making and error correction processes at U.S. mints during that era. And when such features combine in a single specimen, especially one in uncirculated or proof-like condition, it can become the holy grail for collectors willing to pay record-breaking sums. And with the increase in coin-focused social media content, YouTube collectors, TikTok influencers, and Instagram numismatic accounts, the fame of the 1951 penny continues to rise, with images of rare examples going viral and auction videos garnering millions of views from astonished audiences around the world, all of whom are captivated by the idea that a penny, a coin often discarded or overlooked, could command a valuation that eclipses the net worth of major celebrities. And the beauty of coin collecting lies in these unexpected gems, where everyday items are transformed into priceless artifacts of economic, historical, and cultural significance. And whether you're a seasoned collector, a curious hobbyist, or someone who simply wants to check that dusty jar of coins tucked away in your closet, now is the time to revisit the wheat pennies of 1951, especially if you find ones with mint marks, doubled features, or strange characteristics, because just one of those could be your ticket to joining the ranks of legendary numismatic finds, and the story of the 1951 penny will forever remain a thrilling chapter in American coin history, a testament to how small mistakes can create astronomical value, and a reminder that sometimes, hidden among billions of ordinary coins, lies a rare treasure capable of changing your life forever. We're diving into the extraordinary and astonishing world of rare coins and numismatic treasures, and this time, we've got a coin that will leave you completely speechless. The legendary 1957 wheat penny from the United States of America, a 1-cent coin that, despite its humble denomination, has astonished collectors, historians, and investors alike by reportedly being valued at an unbelievable $90.7 million due to its unique combination of historical context, minting errors, rare design variations, and near impossible to find preservation quality that set it apart from millions of others struck in that same year. And in this video, we're going to uncover exactly why this simple copper coin is no ordinary piece of pocket change but instead a symbol of immense rarity and immense fortune. So whether you're a seasoned numismatist or simply someone who's heard about valuable coins on social media or the news, get ready for a fascinating deep dive into every reason why this 1957 wheat penny could be worth millions and what you should look out for if you ever come across one in your collection or pocket. Because the story behind this coin begins in a crucial time in American history when the country was in a post-war economic boom, manufacturing was expanding, and coin production was at a high, with the United States Mint producing billions of cents annually. Yet among all those coins struck in Philadelphia and Denver in 1957, a few incredibly rare anomalies emerged that would decades later be uncovered as some of the most prized possessions in the coin collecting world. And the first thing to understand is that the 1957 wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was part of a long-running design that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln and featured his profile on the obverse and 2 wheat ears flanking the words, 1 cent and United States of America on the reverse, a classic and elegant design that ran until 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse, making the 1957 coin one of the last in the wheat series and thus already of historical significance as one of the final editions of a nearly 50-year design era. But what truly transforms the 1957 wheat penny into a coin of unimaginable value are the extreme rarity and severity of certain minting errors and anomalies that occurred during its production, including but not limited to doubled dies, repunched mint marks, planchet errors, off-center strikes, die clashes, ghosting errors, and transitional planchet anomalies. And let's begin with one of the most notorious error types, known as the double die obverse, in which the coin's design elements, especially inscriptions like "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1957, appear to be slightly duplicated due to misalignment in the hubbing process when the die was created, and although doubled dies are not always immediately visible to the untrained eye, under magnification they reveal an unmistakable and dramatic visual doubling that adds immense value to a coin, and a double die 1957 penny in mint condition can alone be worth thousands, but when paired with other errors, the value increases exponentially, and some specimens of the 1957 wheat penny also display repunched mint marks, specifically the D mint mark representing the Denver Mint, which can be seen struck more than once at slightly different angles or positions due to die reworking, a feature that collectors highly value, especially when the repunching is strong and visible without magnification. And there are also extremely rare examples of the 1957 wheat penny that were struck on silver dime planchets or transitional blanks, meaning instead of being struck on the standard 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc planchets weighing 3.11 grams, they were mistakenly struck on dime-sized silver planchets, or even brass foreign coin blanks, resulting in a coin with incorrect weight, luster, and coloration. And these planchet errors are exceptionally rare but documented, and coins with such attributes can sell for tens or even hundreds of thousands at major auction houses. And some of the most intriguing 1957 wheat pennies also exhibit striking errors like off-center strikes, in which the design is misaligned on the planchet due to improper feeding into the press, leaving part of the design missing and a blank crescent visible, with the degree of off-centering affecting the value. The more dramatic yet complete the date and mint mark remain, the more desirable the coin becomes. And die clashes are another valuable error where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly impressions of one side on the other and resulting in mysterious, overlapping design elements that serious error collectors pursue vigorously. And then there are BIE errors, named for a die break between the B and E in Liberty on the obverse. That forms what appears to be an I, a small but specific die chip variety that has developed a cult following among Lincoln cent collectors and is often seen in mid-50s issues, including the 1957 cent, and when paired with other anomalies or found in pristine condition, this minor error can push a coin's value much higher. But among the rarest possible errors is the mule error, where two dies not intended to be used together strike a coin, creating a mismatched combination. While no officially confirmed 1957 mule cents are known, persistent rumors and unverified reports claim one such coin might exist, and if it were ever verified, it would instantly become a multi-million-dollar treasure given its extreme rarity. And all of these error types, from the well-documented doubled dies and repunched mint marks to the exceedingly rare planchet or mule errors, contribute to the overall mystique and desirability of the 1957 wheat penny, especially when discovered in high grades. Because coin condition plays a vital role in valuation, and the professional coin grading system, ranging from Pro 1 to Mint State 70, determines how much a collector might pay, with coins graded MS65 or higher fetching many times more than those in average circulated condition. And what's even more exciting is that the 1957 wheat penny was produced in such high numbers. Over 1.2 billion combined between Philadelphia and Denver, that examples are still readily available in circulation, or old coin jars, meaning that potentially valuable era specimens could still be hiding in plain sight, especially in estates, coin rolls, or childhood collections handed down through generations. And over the years, certain 1957 wheat pennies with prominent errors and top-tier conditions have sold at auctions like heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, and great collections for jaw-dropping amounts, often breaking records due to bidding wars among elite collectors who recognize the rarity and investment potential of such coins. And rumors persist that one particularly unique 1957 D wheat penny, possibly a combination of a doubled die, off-metal strike, and repunched mint mark in nearly perfect MS-68 condition, was acquired in a private sale for an eye-watering $90.7 million by a private collector who regarded the coin not just as a numismatic prize but as a symbol of historical and financial significance akin to owning a rare artwork, a Fabergé egg, or a piece of moon rock. And while that figure might seem implausible at first glance, when you consider the global rarity of coins with multiple significant mint errors, their historical importance, and the emotional and national connection many Americans feel toward Lincoln iconography, it becomes easier to understand how collectors, investors, and museums might be willing to pay extraordinary sums to own such a unique piece of monetary history. And the speculative value of this coin is also influenced by its provenance, meaning the documented history of its ownership, condition changes, auction appearances, and public visibility. Coins with well-known pedigrees fetch more due to the trust and fame associated with them, and in an age where rare collectibles, whether they be Pokémon cards, vintage comics, or NFT artworks, are commanding astronomical prices at auction, it's not entirely surprising that a historically significant, beautifully preserved, era-rich 1957 wheat penny could reach values in the tens of millions, especially in the context of a highly publicized private acquisition or bidding war among passionate collectors. And what's more, the mystique of the 1957 cent only grows as more discoveries surface. For instance, coins found in original mint rolls stored in untouched bank vaults for decades that suddenly reveal pristine condition and rare die varieties never before catalogued. And each time such a coin enters the spotlight, it reignites the public's imagination and inspires new collectors to check their spare change, search their grandparents' coin jars, and even attend coin shows in hopes of finding their own piece of numismatic history. So if you've got a 1957 wheat penny, take a close look, examine it under a magnifying glass, weigh it to the hundredth of a gram, check for doubling, inspect the mint mark, and look for color, texture, or alignment inconsistencies. Because what might appear to be an ordinary cent could, under the right circumstances, be one of the rarest and most valuable coins in existence, potentially worth a fortune beyond your wildest dreams, and join the legendary status of that elusive $90.7 million 1957 wheat penny that changed the coin collecting world forever.